All right, welcome in. Welcome back to another Bears post-game show. Bears win 7-3, finally get a win in the division against the Minnesota Vikings in a very dramatic way. Once again, it's really getting old, actually. Like, I know a lot of people like Cardiac Bears. I hate that nickname, and I'm getting tired of it. But Bears are 7-3. I know we're not going to apologize for that. I'm going to go ahead and give my instant reactions, and then I'll pass over to Fick like we typically do. Caleb Williams, not the best day, but this is Brian Flores. This is a divisional game on the road in one of the prettiest stadiums, by the way. Like Minnesota, I cannot wait for Chicago to get that type of stadium. But Caleb Williams, 16 for 32, 193 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. He was sacked twice. We saw glimpses of magic, right? But a lot of overthrows, and he needs to play better. But he will. And I'm not gonna really focus too much on his play, at least for today. However, the Bears got another win in a very, very tough road environment, and they again showed backbone. They showed really just grit and really just did not waver once again. I know I don't like it, but to see them actually come through time and time and time again, this time with Santos, he just missed a kick. Shout out to him to have the the mindset just to knock this one down. So all in all, it was not pretty. Ben Johnson just said it in his press conference. It was ugly, but 7-3 is nothing to scoff at. That's his words, and that's the facts here. 7-3. DeAndre Swift. I know we talk about Monangai, but this guy is so underrated. He does not get talked about enough. Some of his runs, 21 carries for 90 yards, and then of course the defense. More takeaways. Tyreek Stevenson went down, but I cannot wait to see Kyler Gordon and hopefully Jalen Johnson come back. But this was ugly. But again, I at the end of the day, we've seen the Bills lose to bad teams. We've seen the Packers lose to bad teams. This is the NFL. Any team can win on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, sometimes Saturday. And at the end of the day, the Bears continue to win. Is this sustainable? I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Last year, the Chiefs won a ton of one-score games. This year, they're kind of struggling. It's not sustainable, but this is year one of Ben Johnson in this offense, and the defense is still depleted. Injuries on that side of the ball, and they still continue to produce. And we haven't even seen the Ben Johnson offense at its peak yet. And I'm sure we will. I mean, you hope to be playing your best football in December, but now the Bears are going to be playing meaningful football games in December. So I know I'm going long here, but this is a hell of a win. I'm just tired of this cardiac shit. Like it should not come down to another 54 seconds in the fourth, and you need a big time drive. Shout out to Devin Duvernay, but come on, man. Like, can we just get a nice 20-point win, 17-point win? Give me a 14-point win, just something. I cannot keep doing this. So, but all in all, I'm excited. This is a fun one, 7-3. Fick, I'm gonna pass it to you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it perfectly. You'll never complain about a win in the NFL. Packers almost lost to the Giants today. Teams lose to bad teams all the time. It happens. So you have to just beat the team that's in front of you, in front of the grass, come away with a W, and hopefully you just keep doing that. I will say, though, they are called the Cardiac Bears because now it has been 3 games back to back to back that has come down to the last minute of play, which is just incredible. We saw last year that there's probably 4 or 5 games where it came down to the last drive or so, and we lost every single one of them. We did not win a single one. So I agree with you, Dave. That's not going to be consistent going into next year, but I'm hoping this is reverse karma of literally every game last year where we did not get it right and we should have. So obviously you want to win games. I'm hoping just by 7, we can do that. Like, let's win by 7 first. I'll feel comfortable with that. But a dub's a dub. We'll go into depth about, what made it a dub and what almost made it a loss. But overall, I'm never going to complain about being 7-3 and technically number 1 in the NFC North right now. So stop the count and we can call it an end. So
they're the they're the 3 seed the NFC entirely.
Yeah.
Number 3, boys. I know the Lions are yet to play, and the Eagles are playing later, but I can't wait for that hate watch. But keep going, Fick.
No, that's it. I mean, look, they're just winning games. At the end of the day, you cannot complain. And I think Kevin Burkhardt was saying it on the broadcast. They're like, well, you're playing against easy teams, these smaller teams, blah, 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 blah. He's like, it doesn't fucking matter. You can only play the team that is in front of you, and you just try to get wins, okay? Because at any moment, any given Sunday, you can lose to any of these teams. We just saw us do that to the Vikings in our fourth quarter collapse in week 1, and I thought I was about to watch the exact same Thanks. So shout out to the team. And we've said this week after week, the mental fortitude that in the fourth quarter, it's healing a little bit, not a lot. I still need seasons and seasons of this, but the scar tissue of like, oh, we're fucked. Like it's over. You know what I mean? I actually felt for the first time, I was like 56 seconds. I think we can get the field goal range. And then you saw Duvernay get it. And I was like, oh, we got this.
Can I say something off that?
Yeah, please.
It's so funny you felt that way because I said 53 seconds. Yeah, they've done it. We can't get another one. We can't get another. This is not going to happen again. That's how I felt.
That's fair. That's 3 in a row.
I don't know if anyone else felt that way.
It was more than what I normally felt. I was like 53, it's possible. Could we get sacked on the first play and fuck it all over? Absolutely. But after that kick return by Devin Duvernay, shout out to him, I was like, oh, I feel really good that we can get it. You would hope they could have got 10 yards at least, which is wild, but they did enough for Kyle Santos to kick that win in. Barely, but we'll take it. A win is a win. But Jack, how about you? What's your initial thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I kind of had the opposite thought process. I was like, when we had 53 seconds, I felt like good for the first time ever. Like the last 2 games I sat there and I was like, Bears lost. Like, this is exactly how we lose. This was the first time I was like, I feel like we're in our bag. And like Duvernay definitely bailed us out for sure. And like saved us a lot of, like, we already all had heart attacks, but I mean, take that away, say it's a touchback. Like it's a much different story, but no, all in all, it was a shitty game. It truly was. But like you just said, Brian Flores, you're playing in Minnesota, like it's loud, sold out crowd, like it's tough. And so a win's a win though. End of the day, 7-3 sounds awesome. We would not have thought that after week 1 at all. After week 1, we sat here and we were like, it kind of feels like the same thing. Like I'm scared it's going to be a repeat, whatever.
After week 2, even worse because we got dropped 50 on us. I was like, oh, we're not. There's no way. So
week 2 was the lowest I felt. I say a while, but that was rough.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, Jack, not to cut you off. Keep going.
Go ahead, Jack.
No, quick summary. I mean, you guys nailed it. I think Caleb didn't look great. The defense looked really good. Again, their offense kind of sucks, so it's tough to like. I don't want to be like double.
Is it their offense sucks or is it just JJ sucks? Yeah, I'm like,
that's the heart, man. I mean, that's
wide open. And both teams too drops. Is this an NFL wide thing, or is this just 2 teams like the Vikings and Bears trying to see who can drop the ball more? This was unbelievable, and it's a little concerning now because the Bears, I think the receivers have like the jitters outside, like Colston Loveland, who, I mean, is he the most reliable target now?
Komet too. Komet catches typically a lot.
Yeah, he runs. They both are running people over.
But yeah, other than the tight ends, I'm like, I don't feel confident that the wide receiver's coming down with the pass. DJ Moore caught one, right? And then he dropped another one, like a big one. Luckily, Colston, got that big play right after that. But it's like, come on, bro. I'm not expecting you to every game to have 0 drops. That's not realistic. You're going to have mistakes. But after coming off a game like last week where you had 7, 8 drops, you can't then have 4 this week. You know what I mean? Like, we need to get something so where the margins get brought down. But the Vikings was even worse. Jordan Addison, 2 big drops. One of them was a 3rd down, dropped it. TJ Hawkinson on a 3rd down, dropped it. JJ kind of dropped like a high pass. I don't know if that gets a credit to him on 3rd down, but overall, the wide receivers on both sides of the ball did not help out their quarterbacks at all. And then also JJ did not help out his offense at all. That man, I don't know how you guys felt, but like we've had games where Caleb is inaccurate, like last year. I don't know if it was ever that bad. Whereas like that first 2 drives, I'm like, this dude can't complete a pass. Like Nashawn Wright was, and shout out to him, he was getting burnt. And then his guy, JJ would just overthrow him. And I'm like, dog, like, come on. So we definitely the defense did their job, held a team to 17 points. You should be able to win those games. But JJ definitely was making it a lot easier for that defense. That's for sure. Again, game 5 for him. I know it's not about the Vikings, but game 5, so it's hard to tell how good he's going to be, but he did not look good today. He made Caleb look better, and that says a lot because Caleb wasn't that great either, so at all. But Jack, what do you think? How did you feel about JJ? Do you think it's like that's who he's going to be, or do you think?
Well, it was always kind of weird. I think that was the draft we were live. We absolutely were. So then he was selected 10th overall, and we were like, oh my god, like it was kind of surprising that it was 10 because that was right after Penix too.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know. I don't think JJ McCarthy looks good. Again, you said it's game 5, but at the same time, it's a really, really good system, so it's hard to like it doesn't get much better than what he has right now.
For sure.
Whereas like Caleb in his 5th game, like it was Eberflus and it was like all these problems and our coach is getting FBI rated, like it was all this shit.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and so it's a little bit different. I don't know. He just does not look good, and that's what kind of sucks about week 1 was that he just never looked good either. Just the second half, whatever the hell happened, and we crumbled. Kind of sucks looking back.
Yeah.
On it.
Yeah, there's a comment here. Ty Bauer 91 on YouTube said, "You guys are nuts for saying Caleb wasn't good today." I mean, the man was under 50% or maybe at 50% completion rate. We're not saying he was awful. He did enough to win the game, but the dude had under 200 passing yards, under 50% completion rate. I don't know how that screams good to you. He wasn't awful, which is fine. He didn't turn the ball over. He evaded a bunch of sacks, and there was plays that still looked like Caleb Williams plays, and that's great. But you can't watch that game and say, oh, they scored 19 points. They only had 1 touchdown. It wasn't a passing touchdown, and they had 5 field goal attempts. I don't know how you look at that and say, oh, yeah, Caleb was fantastic. So
no, and here's the thing. I'm not going to be hard on him either because we'll watch the tape. We'll watch the all 22, and it's going to look a lot better. It always typically does with Caleb when you watch the broadcast, and that's absolute. However, some of the drops definitely played a part. But, I mean, early on, that first quarter alone, probably the first half, I mean, some explosive plays were left out there, and that's because of Caleb Williams. And I believe he was a bit just I don't know if he was just uneasy. He had too much adrenaline. He was just overthrow. And those are some big plays that they left out there, and they're going to highlight that, right? And one of my favorite parts of this game was actually after the game winner. They went ahead and panned the camera to Santos. Everyone's celebrating, and then they panned to Caleb, who's walking onto the field, very serious, no smile. He's shaking his head, and you can tell the mentality there is like, this game should not have been close. And he understands that, but this is where you go. You won the game. You learn from it. And that's the mentality I love to see. No celebrating, no jumping up and down, the 7-3 Bears, cardiac Bears. No, he's serious as hell. He knows he probably didn't play good enough. And this game should not have came down to a kick like that. So I just love. I hope you go back and watch the broadcast because that right there, too many times you see players celebrate, and there's a ton of them, and rightfully so. But your quarterback, I just like that mentality there, like that I saw from Caleb Williams.
Well, especially because he's the reason why. I mean, he's part of the reason. It's not all on him. It was the offense as a whole. Tons of missed blocks, my God, especially in the run game. But yeah, overall the offense, and we'll get to the team grades, did not play good. They didn't. You score under 20 points in the NFL based off how many times you made it to the red zone or close to the red zone. I say like red zone adjacent. They got to the 40-yard line like 4 or 5 times and walked away with 19 points. That's not great. I'm sorry. So, and that's been the issue all season. It's been the red zone. They can move the ball. When they score touchdowns, are normally big plays, so they skip the red zone altogether. But when you get to the red zone, you got to figure out a way to score. I don't know what to tell you. Once they can unlock that will take them from, kind of a fringe playoff team, which where they're at now, right? They definitely in the driver's seat, to like, oh no, that's a real contender. Because now you feel confident when they get down there, they can score at least on 2 out of 3 attempts. Right now they're scoring at a rate of like 1 of every 4 attempts, and that's not going to work. So, but we'll take the dub. Again, it's not to dig on this team. They played well, but there's obviously nuance and why this game came down to a last second field goal again. So crazy stuff.
Absolutely. And we have a lot to get to. What Fick?
As I say, was there anything else on initial thoughts? And we'll get to the first ad read, and then we'll get to the recap.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. A lot of thoughts here, but we'll get through and break it down just throughout this game. If you're excited that the Bears are 7-3, or if you're excited that the Bears are 7-3, make sure to hit that like button if you're on YouTube. Appreciate y'all.
First off, thank you for watching the BFR Podcast, the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the #1 show for the fans, by the fans, the BFR Podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I gotta share this comment. This is crazy from Turner. Said I hit the like button so many times that they called it a DA hotline. That is crazy work, but appreciate it. Yeah, do what Turner said. Hit the like button, like Dave said, if you're excited about this, and make sure to leave your hashtags in the comments as we give you a shout out every time. We appreciate y'all being here. All right, Dave, you ready? Let's, Dave and Jack, we can get into the recap here. Let's see. Gosh, it was sad making this. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, so 19-17. You know, I hate using the term, but it's 3 games in a row now. Cardiac Bears, unfortunately. But the big one here is what I kind of harped on. That was big. 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. The Vikings only had to get 2 touchdowns and 1 field goal, and they almost won it, right? Less trips, but more efficient in their trips. We have tons of trips there. We just can't convert. Once we do that, this game wouldn't have been close. It probably would have been like 30-17. So they got to figure that out. Passing yards from both teams, not great. Under 200. Can you guys remember an NFL game last time you watched where both passing yards for the teams in totality were under 200 each? Horrible. Rushing game for us, 140. That was good. The rushing game for them was actually pretty solid too, especially earlier in the game. They had 115 yards. We had 19 first downs to their 15. Yeah. But the big winner here is why we won is because we had 2 interceptions. Shout out to Kevin Byard and Deshaun Wright. We didn't have any sacks, though, of course. That's how it's going to be here in Chicagoland. And they had 2 that, I mean, there was more like Caleb was trying to find something for the longest time and then finally got sacked. So nothing too crazy there. But yeah, it was an interesting one. Dave, you remember when I was telling you about the sacks too with Caleb? I was like, when he gets sacked, you don't lose that many yards. And literally his first sack was a 0-yard loss. So it's kind of like when if you looked at Caleb last year, when he would get sacked, it'd be like a 7-11, or sometimes he'd be doing some crazy shit in the back, right? Real Houdini stuff. And he'd lose like 17 yards. And you're like, dude, come on. This year, he takes less sacks. When he takes sacks, it's normally him stepping up into the pocket. Not everyone, but most of them. So it's just kind of interesting to see. Go ahead. Oh, you muted.
So, went on mute. Would not unmute. Let the record show. This one, there was a sack. I think the second one it was a big loss. And here's the thing. I think it was about 12 yards he lost on that one. And it obviously Torrey Taylor was able to get a good punt off. However, you just got to live that with Caleb. Like, you can't knock him for taking a sack like that when he avoids, 4 others, throughout the game. His spin move on one of the Vikings defenders early on Dallas the game. Turner. I mean, that is disgusting. It's like Sixth Sense type stuff. I'm not sure even how he sees it or feels it. And then, of course, the athleticism to not only spin, but then to keep his balance, because Turner does get his leg, and he may be the best quarterback at sack avoidance in the NFL. And I don't know if it's even close right now. Like, Lamar is great, athletic, but Caleb is just almost on another level, at least through this recent stretch of probably 8 or so games. It's quite incredible. And you just got to live with it. Like you said, the first sack, there was no yards lost. I thought there was a helmet to helmet on that one too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and even Dallas Turner had one where Caleb ends up avoiding a sack again, rolls out to his right, buys time, and then throws it away ultimately. And then Dallas Turner just shoves him right after. And so I don't understand really with these calls and the lack thereof, Caleb getting them, because it's so inconsistent. And Caleb, he needs to get that. Like, if they're calling that straight up across the board, I don't care how great Caleb Williams is at, avoiding sacks. You got to give him some of these calls. So, but I agree, the sack avoidance is such an elite trait, and I don't want to take that away from him. And I thought he's done such a good job at, knowing when to do it. Actually, I think he does it all the time. He doesn't never not try to get away from a sack. And maybe, you just got to live with it, because there's going to be times like today where there's going to be one sack where he does lose about 10 yards or so. And it's a rarity, because when he does go down, I think it was Andrew Van Ginkel, the guy that looks like a Viking, mm-hmm. Yeah. Long blonde hair. And he kind of threw Caleb on the ground. And that's where you're like, I think the broadcast, even Tom Brady was like, that's kind of shocking. You don't see that very often. You didn't see it last week, of course, with the Giants front. But I thought Caleb, I can't wait to watch the all 22, because he had a tough day. Like, the inconsistency with his accuracy and his kind of intermediate deep ball today was just what was alarming. But I'm not going to jump ship. Who the fuck cares? He is a very, very good quarterback. And right now the Bears have not played their best football offensively. And that is what I'm not going to say what should be scary for the league, but it's like if this thing ever starts to truly click consistently, that's where this team is going to be very dangerous because they take the ball away at an elite level, lead the NFL. But for me, once the offense starts to click, right, it's instead of those field goals, it's going to be touchdown, 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 and then it's 21 points instead of 9, right? And you kind of blow it open.
Instead of what?
Instead of 9, right? Shout out to JJ McCarthy.
Sorry,
what I'm trying to say is it's just today, right? You scored 9, you hit 3 field goals, right? Kevin Byard interception, you settle for a field goal. If this team can ever get to a point where Ben Johnson and Caleb and the drops and whatever it might be, but if they can consistently score touchdowns instead of these close games, they won't be close because you're going to be up by 14, 17 points because you're able to put the ball in the end zone. And too often we're seeing them settle for field goals. And right now they're winning these games, but it's like they're leaving points on chunk plays, right? I think Caleb had 2, we looked at it, he had 193 passing yards, but he probably had about 240 with drops, right? So you live and learn, and yeah, I'm excited to see if this thing starts to click. If it can click in year 1, especially in this last 7 games now, it's going to be very, very fun to see, and maybe lean a little bit more on the run game too. Because sometimes I feel like sometimes like that 3rd and 1 where they had Tyson Bagent out there. I know they handed it to Swift, but I would have liked to see an extra lineman, maybe an extra tight end, and keep Tyson Bagent out there, right? I understand the trickery, but it's like, come on. I didn't like that call. And Ben, he had a very up and down game too, in my opinion, not watching the all 22. But like I said, I'm excited to see where this team can continue to progress. But 7-3, man, and it's fun to be able to do that and still win. And that's rare in Chicago.
Winning in general is rare in Chicago. So if you're doing it and all sides, all 3 phases aren't firing correctly, that's fine. Like, again, I don't know how much we have to harp it, but it's so important. It's so hard to win in the NFL, and we're living proof of it because the past decade we have done little of it. So obviously there's things they're going to prove off. They know that, but we're never going to apologize for getting the dub. And some days the offense is going to carry. Some days will be the defense. Some days will be the special teams. Hopefully they all do it at the right time. If you can make it in the playoffs, and they can consistently do that. But 1 week at a time, we'll take 7-3. No complaints there. All right, let's get to, though, that's the 4K tracker here. Or actually go to game Caleb recap. Sorry. On Caleb here. Sorry, wrong one. Let's do this one here. My bad. So Caleb, and we talked about it, 16 for 32, which is 50% completion rate. Not great. 193 yards, also not great. But what is, even on his worst day, he doesn't turn the ball over, and that at least keeps the Bears in games. It doesn't win him the game a lot of times, but it keeps him in it. So I do have to give a shout out to him there. Obviously, QB rating not great at a 69 and only 26 rushing yards. But the real question then is, how does that look in comparison to the 4K tracker? So not great. If you, just to recall, last week he was on pace for 4,000. Jack, if you want to pull this one up, we'll see where he's at right now. I said he can't have another 200 subpar dud, and he did. So, of course, I brought the average down. Not great here. He has to have a 235 full year requirement. Right now, year to date, he has a 233 average. So I'm assuming he's probably like 39, like 3,990 yards. Like that's what he's projected to be. So as really what will do it, if he can get 1 300-yard game, going to be tough because his back half has a lot of good defenses. But if he can just get 1, I think he'll be kind of locked in. But again, they're winning, so this isn't the main priority or prerogative, but it is just something interesting to keep in mind. I know he's talked about it. He wants to get it. So
the drops too right now, it's like the Bears, it's an actual illness. Like there's something's going on where it was like I was worried about it when it first started happening. Like one game where it was like, oh, that was prevalent. Week 2, I think last week there was some drops. Today, I mean, Caleb can't deliver the ball any better. Like there was 3 or 4 of them where it's like more, right? Luther Burden, that's when you know shit's really going crazy. Like sure-handed as he is, he dropped one hit him right in the chest, I think. So, weird development with the pass catchers. But that 4K, I think he still gets there, man. I do like.
I think so too.
I think they almost force it too.
Yeah, like in week
I
17.
literally think they almost forced it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they would.
Yeah.
100%. Unless they wouldn't. The only way they wouldn't force it is if the week 17, which is what? That's not the Packers, right? Who's week 17? Whoever we play week 17, if that game determines if we make the playoffs or not, obviously Ben Johnson is going to call it however it is. So that's the only situation where I think he may not get it. But if we're locked in, they're definitely force feeding that.
I agree.
Which I think is good moment. Like it's a good milestone for the team, momentum, all that type of stuff. So
Makes Ben look great too.
Absolutely. So I agree with you there. All right, we'll go quick here. Look at the QBR tracker here. Not great. We were hoping to see that thing climb up after week. He had a dip last week and then he dipped again. So this is kind of the season of Caleb Williams, right? Overall, still, I think he's played well because if you probably took the average of that, he's probably averaging at like a QBR rating of like 85 or something like that. But peaks and valleys. It's up one week, down the next, up 1 week, down the next. And so hopefully he has another peak in there for next week, which who do we play next week? That's not the
Steelers.
That Packers? Steelers, then it's Packers.
And Aaron Rodgers is already he had a hand injury.
Right?
I'm not sure if he returned. He was questionable last I checked.
I think he did. I think he came back.
It says he didn't finish the game right here. Mason Rudolph did. Yeah.
Okay. I thought he came back.
From one of our YouTube comments. So we'll see we'll see what that development looks like. But again, you play the teams. You play the teams. Chicago, right?
Yeah, in Chicago. Yeah. That one's in Chicago. Then we go to Green Bay. Then we play at Cleveland, and then we're back home with Green Bay, I think, is the order. If I remember right.
Yeah, it's in Chicago. Then you got Philly, Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay, San Francisco, Detroit.
Philly. Forgot about Philly. Yeah, it's a tough back half, man. So you gotta these wins are that important because you got Packers, even though Packers look beatable, but Packers twice, Lions one more time. They spanked the hell out of us. The defending champs Eagles, like none of those are easy games. So
you when it comes to NFL, any week, like we see this every week, like they're tough matchups, sure, but like we've seen contending teams, like some of the best teams outside maybe the Patriots, lose games where actually I take that back. I think the Patriots had a weird loss too in there. So it's like it doesn't really matter. That's why the NFL is one of the best sports in the world, because like any given Sunday, it doesn't matter how many players are out, it's just that close. There's a lot of parity right now in the NFL. So you win these close games, and you keep them stacking. So the Bears have won 7 out of the last 8. That's almost like, I just can't even believe that. Like this is a huge, huge stretch of football where they, again, start out 0-2. They probably should be 8-1, with the Vikings loss.
Last time we won 7 out of 8, I think, was 2018. We lost week 1 against the Packers. Did we start 0-2 in that year too? I can't remember.
No, we beat the next team. Was it the
it's so long.
Seahawks?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Russell Wilson.
Because we lost kind of in the same fashion of the Vikings, where it's like we should have beat the Packers because Rodgers went out, but then came back. And so
it looks like we beat the Broncos.
Broncos, is that what it was?
Yeah.
In
2018?
Double checking here.
No way.
You're right. You know it. Yep. Lost to the Packers, then beat Seahawks.
Don't even try to test me. I know exactly what 2018.
Long list, and then it said 2019, and I got confused.
You were thinking, okay, yeah. No, that's fair.
Long list.
That's crazy though. The 7 out of 8. Either way, 7 out of 8 is wild, especially after starting 8-2. So you just got to give a hats off to this team. Obviously, there's going to be a game where we don't come out victorious in these tight games. We're just hoping we can just actually give ourselves the opportunity to be in those games, and they have been doing that. So shout out to them. And honestly, even to this point, obviously season's not over, but what they've done so far from first quarter to second quarter, it's above expectations. So shout out to Ben Johnson and the team and how well they've been performing. Cool. All right, let's get to our second ad read here, and then we're going to get to our game balls and our Caleb meter. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR Podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Also, I want to shout out here. Travis on YouTube said 49ers are in week 17 at Ficky. So appreciate that, Travis. It's going to be interesting because they're also fighting for that wild card if we don't win the division. So that's going to be a big matchup week 17. Appreciate it, Travis.
Bro, what's crazy is JJ McCarthy and Caleb both were 16 for 32. both were dealing with multiple drops too. And that's the thing with JJ McCarthy. I mean, he didn't play great, but I mean, there was some questionable drops that he had to deal with too, especially early on.
That second half for sure. That second half for sure. I say in that second half for sure, because he was dealing more in the second half.
Well, I mean, that first half, the first two drives, they probably should have came away with points, if not a touchdown on the Addison drop. That's a touchdown. I mean, there were some big. I mean, they probably dealt with more game-altering drops on Minnesota's side. And thank God, I don't care. But it was weird. It was weird, and to see them both have 50% completion percentage. But again, great. Brian Flores, you got to give hats off to him, and Dennis Allen. Not an easy task for JJ McCarthy either, even with the depleted.
You know what's interesting though, because we're talking about like he had 2 interceptions. Caleb, a lot of times on the deep ball, he doesn't get picked because he overthrows. Like if he's going to take the risk, it's going to be it's overthrown. Both of the picks on McCarthy is because those are underthrown balls. That's obviously where the players are at. It's easier. And he probably should
have had a third one where Brisker basically took out Tyreek, and Tyreek tried to come back. Played 1 rep, and then he was on the sideline. So it's really that much more imperative that hopefully we get Jalen Johnson back and maybe Kyler if he can be activated. Not sure with his timeline, but Caleb does. But there's a ball that it was like 3rd and something. It was inside the red zone or maybe just outside the 20, and he threw it up to Loveland, and it just went way over his head on the left side, and it ended up being not even catchable. And it's like those spots, and there was a comment where I'm like, I wish he would have had given Colston Loveland, a real chance on that one-on-one jump ball. But then someone said, you want to get points there. You want to secure points. I understand that, but it's like sometimes you just want to see those playmakers like Loveland. Trust your guy. Give him a good ball. And if the DB makes a good play, sure. But and like I said, you want to take the points at the end of the day. Obviously, 19-17, that points matter. Obviously, in such close games that the Bears are playing in. And so for me, the you're right, Fick. He just doesn't take those chances sometimes. So
I mean, look, it's working so far. So again, we can't. If you keep winning, then fuck it. But yeah, there are plays definitely when you're watching. At least we don't have the all 22, but when you're watching, you're like, ugh, come on. But hey, 7-3, so he did enough. We'll take it. Okay, let's get to the game balls. These are interesting. I think there's a couple that we could pick from here. I am going with Cairo Santos, Jack and Dave's favorite player of all time. And look, at the end of the day, 4 out of 5 on field goals, 5 field goals in a game, or 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5? 4 out of 5 field goals. Yeah, that's crazy in an NFL game. I think, Dave, you tweeted about it like, obviously you want him to hit that one, but when you're making your kicker kick 5 field goals in a game, Like the data is going to show that you're probably going to miss one. And he hit the most important one.
That's where it's so fun. It's like with Nashawn Wright, where I get so pissed at him. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you 5-10 yards away from your assignment? Then he makes an incredible interception. You won't see a better one where, it shows how, I think he's 6'3", 6'4". You can see the athleticism, the length that he has on the play that he just made, because it's like not a lot of corners are able to catch that ball because it's so high, and he just uses athleticism, makes a great play on the ball. Looks like a receiver really coming down for a touchdown. But it's like the back and forth with him. I'm like, one time he pisses me off. It's like a roller coaster of emotions for him. And I think he has 4 interceptions on the season, which is quite insane. So he is like polarizing. Santos is similar. Today, I thought he did really good on his kickoffs. So I love that. Like, I think he was money. In regards to kind of
say that I think that kickoff approach was like different. We haven't seen that. He did a lot of like the short squibble up. Let's keep doing that, please.
Now the Bears can't cover sometimes, so that's a problem. They need to get rid of Hightower. I think after the season, he probably should have never been retained. But that's always hindsight's 2020. But I think you're right. Santos, to hit that kick, I had no faith in him. And he just keeps proving me wrong. And I know I'm one of the biggest. Jake Moody, bring him back. But it's like this makes it hard. He has the C on his chest for a reason. And I love that Caleb actually brought him. They do the post-game presser or post-game interview with Fox. And it looks like Caleb insisted that Santos be there with him. And then, of course, said a lot of great things about adversity. This guy right here kind of patted hit him on the chest and hyped him up. And you love to see that from Caleb. But yeah, I can't be mad with that one as far as like MVP. Santos was money, man.
Jack, how'd you feel about it? Because I know you're more of a Jake. Look, Jake Moody.
Game ball. That's so disgusting.
How is it not? He had out of the 19 points that this team scored, he had 12 of them.
That's his job. Technically going to work and then you do your job and then
bro, he had 12 points. Who else? He scored more points than anybody else did.
Dude, again, just me being negative as fuck. Like you're justifying it by being like he made the one that mattered. It wouldn't have mattered if he made the one before.
He made 3 other ones too. It's different. If it was more like he was 1 for 2 and he made the last one, I'd be like, okay. But the dog hit 3, missed that 4th one, which he shouldn't have, but then hit the game winner. So, bro, you should either way. You can't have your kicker out there 5 times. You cannot. I'm sorry. That is annoying. But go ahead, Dave.
I'm one of the biggest probably Santos critics, and I can't even. Would we be in this situation if he made that other kick? No, but to come back and deliver when we needed him. That's where, I just appreciate that, man. Also, I was sick watching it.
He also has made a cut. Like, this isn't like his first game winner. He's made about 5 or 6 now. Actually, I think he's made every game winner except if it was blocked, because he had the 2 blocks last year. But if it does not get blocked, right, and those are those long field goals, we know the discussion about the leg power and whatnot. So I agree with you there. But if it has not been blocked, it's gone in the most clutch moments. So. You got a clutch quarterback. You got a clutch quarterback, and you got a clutch kicker. I mean, what else do you need? So one gets you down there, the other one seals the deal. So good stuff, though. But let's get to Dave's game ball.
Yeah, I went with this. Might be a surprise. I'm gonna go Kevin Byard here. I think him getting that first interception. You saw just the veteran savviness that came with that pick. He made it look easy. Yeah, this one kind of opened the floodgates with the turnovers, of course, Nashawn Wright. But I think Kevin Byard is just a leader on that defense. They are depleted. He talked about, I think, on his pod where it's like, man, they were just devastated by injuries. But it's like next man up. And he just embodies, what this team needs on that side of the ball. And, I think he leads the league in interceptions right now. He's just all-pro type stuff. So I want to just give him his flowers because he's had such an amazing, amazing season so far.
Question for y'all. Because he's had probably one of his best seasons, right? He's had a lot of good ones. That's why we signed him. But he's 32 years old, and he's set to be a free agent this offseason. Do you bring him back? Yes or no? Obviously, the money plays a huge, important part, but let's kind of take that away. Is it deserved that he should be back on the team?
Yeah, he plays safety. He's not a running back where, the tread on his tire. He plays safety. He sees the ball. He's still got his speed. really doesn't even rely on his speed. He's just able to read quarterbacks so well. Like JJ McCarthy, obviously younger quarterback, but he takes advantage and punishes quarterbacks based on the way he's kind of able to deceive and then track that ball. And he kind of baits a lot of bad throws. And so for me, yeah, I mean, you're not going to make him the highest paid safety. And I think he understands that, you would hope, but pay him. Yeah. Keep him. Absolutely. You need a veteran guy like that.
I agree. Jack, what do you feel?
I second that verbatim. Like, I won't even give it. I totally think you would. It'd be crazy not to, even if it's a little 1 year, which it should be.
Yeah. I'd see it's probably a 1 year or a 2 year with like, it's in essence a 1 year, but yeah, you got to bring him back on the team just for the veteran presence, and his game hasn't slowed down. So sorry if we have to pay a little extra more, it's not, the extra is going to be worth it. Cause it's not, we're, like Dave said, making him the highest paid safety in the league. Come on, you're 32. But yeah, I agree. It was just something I thought about because I'm like, he is going to be a free agent. That's probably our biggest free agent decision that, Ryan Poles is going to have to make this offseason. So good stuff. All right, Jack, let's get to your game ball.
My savior, Devin Duvernay, had a horrible, horrible, horrible season up to this point. But that return saved us. Yes, we could have driven down the field, like I said earlier, but we didn't need to with my boy, Devin Duvernay. So I truly, like, that was an unbelievable return. I almost thought he was going to go all the way. It really set us up in a good spot. And
keep going, Jack.
I was just going to say, like, you saw the hole open, and then I don't know who it was on Viking special team that just missed the easiest tackle ever and like almost fell over. But who cares? Devin Duvernay.
Yeah. Devin Duvernay, you'd like to have a little bit more speed because, like, I would say you gotta house that one because I thought he could. If he wasn't so damn slow. Let's be honest here. Like, he made a great play. And then the Bears probably, I'm not sure what happens, right? Caleb probably have to rely more on Caleb on that drive where he makes some throws. So I'm not going to, I'm not upset with it, but it's like, man, I thought you said you thought he was gone. I thought he was gone. All of a sudden I was like, is he running in mud? Like, I would have loved to see that. And I saw like some people quote, like, Devin, you are ridiculous. Don't give me that. Like, don't put Devin Hester. Devin's gone, bro. Yeah, Devin Hester houses that, walks it in essentially. So I would love to see a little bit more speed. I also don't like seeing Roschon Johnson back there.
Even though, shout out to him though on the kick off return. He made that lace tackle when Miles, their returner Vikings, bro. Yeah, where he got hit hard by Sewell, I think. Or no, it was Hardy, but bounced off, then went to the outside. If Roschon doesn't get that shoelace tackle, Miles is off. Like, that would have easily been a touchdown. So shout out to Roschon on that play there. That was huge. But this is my thing, right? Devin Duvernay is an all-pro returner. Throughout his career, he's been a really good above-average returner, right? We have not seen anything close to that. And I know, obviously, you can't compare, like, you can compare last season, but you can't compare the season before because kickoff is completely different. But I thought I would have saw more out of him, and I feel like it's less about Duvernay and more about the blocking and the scheme that they're doing back there. Now, it is hard. Like, you see more returns, but you don't see as many big returns in the NFL now with the new kickoff. You at least see the returns. But I was expecting we'd see, like, this shouldn't have been the first time we saw that type of play, right? From Devin Duvernay. I would expect at least one more, or even our punt return. He doesn't lose yards, which is good. And he doesn't muff punts. So again, this isn't like a hate Devin Duvernay. He does what needs to be done, but it's nothing of like play variety. Yeah. So
I would say catching those punts, that's got to be one of the most nerve-wracking. Maybe they don't get nervous in the league, right? You probably don't because this is what they're supposed to do. This is what they get paid to do. But I mean, bro, can you imagine a close game? I think it was 6-point game on point, and Devin, it's a really high punt, like great punt, and he's sitting back there. You got the Vikings just already down there watching, probably yelling crazy shit. Like, I can only imagine the shit they're yelling at him, and he's just catches it, boom. Like, I know they're pros, but like that's got to be actually difficult.
I'm sure.
Like,
that's
and we've seen it in the past. Like, probably I think wait a second. Remember Bayless Jones Jr.?
Yeah, last year.
That's what happens when you don't have a reliable guy back there. So Shout out to him. I'm not trying to be like a dick, but it's just like I thought he was totally gone until I saw him.
Yeah, he hasn't been bad.
Mud.
He hasn't done anything to fuck up the team at all. So like honestly, in special teams, sometimes that's just good enough, and we've seen that. So like it's not a dig on him, but I just thought because of his caliber and what he's done previously, we would have saw more. But I think that might be just the scheme that they're running with Richard Hightower, because I tweeted this, and I don't know if you guys agree. Other than that, this was before that return happened, but I said we probably have the worst kickoff return, punt return, kickoff punt team unit, right? Like field goals we're pretty good at, so we're good there. And like trying to block a field goal, we've done that. But when it comes to like kickoffs and punts, I feel like we got to be bottom of the league. So shout out to that. That will obviously get the heat off Richard Hightower's back probably for a week, but they've got to do better in that area for sure. Cool. All right, let's get to our last ad read. We'll have our Caleb meters, team grades, then we have voicemails that end it out. So let's do that now. All right, before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff, and we're always working on new creative designs. Maybe jerseys coming. Yeah, who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time, and we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to the BFRstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. Appreciate it. Yeah, and also shout out to, we got great stuff on there like mugs and hats and whatnot. I know Thomas from the Patreon, he got his shirt. Shout out to you. And then Angie got the mug, said it was fire. So shout out to you as well. So if you want to support us and get any of the fire merch, BFR.com, link in the description.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have over 4,000 across all platforms watching right now. So the support's been unreal. I think we're going to be at 11,000 subscribers on YouTube probably by the end of the week, if not after this show. So if you can, if you want, and you're on YouTube or if you're on Apple, Spotify, jump over to YouTube, subscribe, hit that like button if you're watching live or after, doesn't matter. It's an easy way to support the show. And again, I know a lot of you guys think you're subscribed. You might not actually be. So if you can, just sub to the channel. And yeah, we're excited. This is a 7-3 football team. We got Thanksgiving coming up, meaningful football games. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than this, in my opinion. This is what we've been wanting, and it's finally here. So
yeah, can't complain. Cannot complain over here. And you won't see that in our Caleb meters at all. So let's get the Caleb meters. We'll be quick about this.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get to it here. And hopefully maybe these will get retired after this year too. We feel like he's the guy. But I had to bring him down just a little bit. Obviously not a great performance, but the biggest thing with Caleb Williams all season long is even when he does not play the best, he does not put the team in bad situations by turning the ball over, whether that's interceptions or fumbles. He makes sure to take, like, if it's going to be a loss, it's going to be a little loss, right? Not the loss in the game, but like the play. If it's a negative play, it's not going to be a tremendous negative play where it gets picked off and they return it all the way, right? Or fumbling the ball. So you got to give credit to that. And because of that, I still feel confident about Caleb Williams. And guess what? I don't care. He's winning games, whether it's through him, through the defense or whatever. He's the right guy in charge. So for now, he's going to stay in that green. Let's get to you, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce for 448 yards today, 3 touchdowns. I didn't knock Caleb at all. I did not knock Caleb at all. And I think he talked about there's too much talent right now for this Bears team to not score more touchdowns. And he's going to keep preaching that and expecting that that's the expectations that he has for this offense. And also it's year one in a very complex Ben Johnson system. They're getting better. Also, I thought they shot themselves in the foot a couple more times than they have in the last couple games. Darnell Wright did not have a great game. I'll have to watch the tape. I did not. Theo Benedict too. He whiffed a couple of times, especially in the run game where it's like, they whiffed. And I mean, it blew up the run game. How many times do we see it today where Kyle Malungai's tackled for 3 yards loss? Shout out to Swift. But he had probably 1 or 2 where he got tackled behind the line of scrimmage because it was blown up because of the linemen not particularly blocking well, which they have been. So I think all in all, you're on the road. Brian Flores get out of this division too. Like, can somebody hire him as head coach?
Yes.
Like, having to deal with this guy twice a fucking year is ridiculous. He is really just a nasty mother. Like, he's just really good at his job. Probably the best DC in the game. I love Dennis Allen, but he's tough, man. He's tough. And Caleb, he battled, no interceptions. I know, some people might, give him slack, but to not turn the ball over today, and then the sack avoidance and everything that happened, he had a overall decent game, right? It won't show it on the stats sheet, but he made stuff. He made some plays when it was needed. Colston Loveland too. I mean, that big time play on third down where he just went through two players, and that was bad tackling, but it's never great, though, when Cole Kmet is your leading receiver with 45 yards, 5 receptions, 45 yards.
Shout to him, though. Hey, look, shout out to Cole, because it's been kind of a slow season for him. Yeah. But that isn't great when your leading receiver is only 40 yards. No. And that's why you have under 200 passing yards. That's how that happens. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. It just wasn't a good day at the offense wasn't a good day at the office for the whole offense. But they found a way to win. So they did just enough. And a lot of that comes into fact that they did not turn the ball over, right? Not a lot of penalties either. I know there was a couple, but it wasn't like they had a shit ton where it was like, man, this team keeps having penalties. So it's been like a good streak of games now, I feel like, that I haven't really been thinking about the penalties on the offense. So obviously, like, when it happens, you do. But it wasn't like, earlier in the season, we're like, dude, this team has so many false starts, like pre-snap penalties, and today wasn't the case. So shout out to them. All right, Jack, let's get to yours. How you feeling about Caleb?
Kind of same as you, Fick. He didn't play the best, but he still is a consistent quarterback. Like, it's not like he threw 75 yards, because then we have a different story. If it was 193 yards or whatever he had today and 3 interceptions, different story. Still played a decent game. Offense in totality didn't look great. I don't think the play calling looked good. It seemed like everyone was kind of off. And also his stat sheet would have looked a lot better without the drops. And we can't keep saying drops, but last time I'll say it, too many drops.
Definitely is. I mean, that's a good question, Dave. I want to look into that. Like, is that becoming more of a thing this season? I feel like it's been a lot, at least in the games people play us, and obviously the Bears too. But that'd be definitely something interesting to look into. And it's always for Caleb too. His drops aren't like the short ones. It's like he throws like a 25-yard dart, and it just fucking hits off of the guy's hands. You're like, come on, bro. Like, that's a big play, and it's just getting erased. So anyways, we've talked about drops ad nauseum. So let's get to the team grades here. Not great report cards. Your parents would be quite disappointed if they saw these grades coming in. Probably the lowest of the season after a win, but I'll start off here with the offense is a D. I mean, we've talked about it. You only get 19 points, but you made it into, red zone adjacent area 6 times. That's not good enough. Defense, B+. I had them at an A, but they gave up the most important drive at the end, a touchdown, which is hard. That's kind of the NFL that happens. But overall, 2 turnovers, they did what they need to do. Defensive line, please get a sack. We really need that. Special teams, I'll give a B. It was a C before, but obviously that Devin Duvernay and obviously the game-winning field goal plays a lot of part into that. So, hey, they did what they need to get the job done. And then overall coaching was a C. I didn't really like Ben Johnson's play calling. You're not going to get every play right, but there's just a couple of them where I'm like, I wasn't really a fan. And some of the decisions, I kind of wanted them to go for it on 45 there at the end, instead of
spicy.
I don't know, but either way, it wasn't. I didn't feel the best about that game, but they did enough. So
sure.
There it is. All right,
yeah.
Dave, let's get yours.
Yeah, we'll get to mine real quick. Offense was a D. I think it was just overall a messy. They just did not do enough today. They weren't as consistent in the passing game. I would say the run game had flashes. Shout out to DeAndre Swift. Offensive line, receivers still with drops. Ben Johnson, he had moments, but again, I agree with you, Fick. That 4th and 5 was a toss-up for me on whether to go for it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I was kind of sick to my stomach. That's where you don't want to be a head coach. Like that's a tough decision. You got to live with it. And I was not going to, if they went for it and didn't get it, I wouldn't be mad. But to make JJ McCarthy have to go down, 75 yards, whatever it was, or 80 yards, 85 yards, because I think it would land on the 15 with the punt. I'll stick with that. I'll live with it. The defense, I gave an A. At the end of the day, this team that side of the ball is so depleted. But they really fight their ass off. And to hold Justin Jefferson, I think he had like 20 yards at one point through most of this game, through like at least through this first half. And I know JJ McCarthy was the quarterback, but this defense is taking the ball away at a very elite level. And they're just a really tough unit to go against. And the coaching's really good on that side too. That's why I think to skip one, the coaching, I put a D, because I think overall the offense and special teams just did not do a good enough job today. I'm glad that they didn't have any kick issues. They're able to actually, it didn't get blocked, right? You look back at flashbacks to last year where they just, there was an issue with Santos and the lower trajectory and whatnot. So special teams, I put a D. Their return, the way they the coverage that they have on returns, whether it's kickoff or punts, is just abysmal. So overall, just a horrible day across the board, but you won ugly, and they're going to be better. And so I expect these grades to come up, but I'm just being truly honest. I don't think you can really you can't pretty this up at all, in my opinion. So that's why I went, just honest. Worst grades for sure, I think, for me all season. Maybe the Detroit game, I don't know.
Oh, Detroit
probably had worse.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Had to be apps across the board, but this has to be, and we'll get to yours, Jack. But this has to be the lowest grading for a win we've had. That's for sure. It's kind of across the board. But let's get to
a good way to put it.
Not getting any more positive at all. Offense, D, sucked bad. Every aspect of it. I think the run game, like you said earlier, Fick, in the game recap, it was pretty decent, but in total, not good. Defense, B+. I think that they played really well. Obviously, their offense and JJ himself, or 9, was struggling bad. And so obviously that helped us a little bit, but Byard with the pick, Wright with the pick. I don't know. I think we looked really good on defense, and Dennis Allen has done an amazing job. Special teams, B. I was trying to be a little nicer. Again, we had problems, but the Duvernay, that is special teams. Cairo, I hate him to death, but he did have the majority of our points. So you can't – it's hard to give him a bad grade, I guess. And then coaching C, I primarily put that on Ben Johnson. I just think that the offense struggled and we didn't look great in terms of play calling. But at the same time, it's not like he made any decisions that were, detrimental to our game. There were questionable ones, but there was nothing that, shot us in the foot. So –
yeah, it's true. Did we have a turnover? Because we didn't go for it on 4th down at all, right? So, okay, yeah. So that's a good point, Jack. There wasn't any plays where you're oh, wow, they get short field position, all that type of stuff. So, and he got the win. So,
we got the win.
Yay. So there's that. So there's our shitty report cards for another thriller in Minnesota. So shout out to the team there. All right, let's get to the voicemails. You guys sent in a decent amount of them. We really do appreciate them. I'm excited to see what these are because I'm sure you guys were freaking out like we were watching this game. But let's go ahead and kick it off, Jack. Let's go with Devin on the voicemail line.
Man, I cannot keep watching this team. They're going to be the death of me. I had to pull over while driving home to watch that last 2 minutes. Anyway, bear down, baby. Let's go.
Man, that was a smart decision, Devin, because no way you could drive and watch that. That would have been your last drive, unfortunately. Let's go to DeMio on voicemail line.
Oh, boy, bear down. We managed to win from the jaws of defeat, or whatever that saying goes. Can we fucking fire Ryan Poles as the GM, bro? How much money has he invested into this dog water ass D line? Y'all can figure that out for me. Why did we not draft a left tackle? I love Luther Burden, love Loveland, but what are we doing? Please get rid of that man. He is dog water. Bear down.
I can see where he's coming from. The D-line has not been good, so that's fair.
You can't say you love Loveland and Luther and then say you hate Ryan Poles.
No, that's fair. I wouldn't say fire Ryan Poles, but I definitely understand this D-line has been awful, and there's a lot of money poured into it. So that is definitely his biggest downfall for sure. But appreciate it, DeMio. Let me know if we're saying that next time, if we're saying that right on the next voicemail line. All right, let's go to Ben next.
Hey, guys, just watched Cairo drill that game winner. I'm even more pissed than when we were 5-12. This fucking team can't fucking figure it out and how to put a team away. And eventually, when we play a quarterback, not like the worst one in the league in JJ McCarthy, we're going to get punished for it. Eventually. Caleb needs to play better, but I thought there were a lot of drops. Ben Johnson's called better games. We're moving on to next week. We're 7-3. I'm still pissed. I hate that I'm like this, but fuck it. Bear down.
That's fair. Yeah, if we didn't go against the worst quarterback in the NFL, maybe we don't win that one. But appreciate it, Ben. Let's go from Michael from across the pond.
Let's fucking go.
Beautiful. Thank you,
I was
Michael.
hoping it was going to end like that. That was fun.
Awesome.
All it's needed sometimes.
Love it. Let's do Gage as well.
All right, third time recording this. I need to remember that it's only 30 seconds. Anyways, 45-yard field goal was just missed by Cairo Santos. I want him off my team. I get he made a 54-yarder, but I'm sick and tired of that always being a rarity. Bring Moody in. Anyways, hope the Bears win this game. because otherwise I'm going to be kind of pissed because this was our game to lose.
Well, Gage, do we have a surprise for you? That same man hit the game winner. Also, sorry, we didn't actually talk about Kyle hit a 54, wasn't that his longest of the season?
That's fucking.
I'm not going to celebrate. Good job. Good job, buddy.
All right, hey, flip this, everyone. I rage baited my co-host. I knew
Yeah.
he'd get the. I lured him in there. I knew.
Next voicemail.
Jerome. Let's do Jerome next.
Well, gentlemen, it's Jerome from Darien. Another great Bears victory. God, I wish this team would just score more points, turn more of those 3s into 7s, and we don't have to worry about this, but I will take it. The ship is pointed in the right direction. God, it feels good for our team to be 7-3, and we don't have to sit here and deal with any bullshit from Vikings fans. Bear down, baby. I love it. Let's keep this thing going.
Love the energy there, Jerome. That was fantastic. Let's go to Phil next.
In the chill of the north, under bright Midwest skies, the Chicago Bears rose up with fire in their eyes. 4 quarters of heartbreak, grit, and despair, but Chicago don't fold. Nah, we live for the scare. Clock ticking down, Vikings fans start to roar. Cairo Santos steps up because he's done it before. Snap, hold, kick through the uprights, it sails, and Minnesota falls silent as Chicago prevails. Windy City hearts pound, whole fan base goes crazy. The Cardiac Bears are back, baby. Bear down, baby.
I love it. I love the poems. These came out of nowhere, but
Cardiac Bears. I don't like that nickname, man. Like I said,
I'm used to it because I used to hear for Cardiac Knicks. It's like a thing in the Knicks Twitter world. So it's like now both my teams are doing it, unfortunately. Let's get to Tony next.
If there is a title we can give this season, it'd be this: the Cardiac Chicago Bears. Because it seems like every single week they manage to successfully give me a mini heart attack based on them potentially choking the game, followed by incredibly clutch moments. Now, don't get me wrong. I love these wins. I'm so happy that we're first in the NFC North. But at the same time, I just want at least 1 week where I don't have to worry about potentially losing the game at the very last minute. Anyway, bear down.
Thanks, Tony, but I think you're going to have to deal with that for the rest of the season, it seems like. So let's get to Sam next.
Boys, what a game. 7-3, I will never apologize for it. We're here because we're a gritty team. That to be said, we have got to find some offensive consistency. We cannot be doing these late comebacks every time because eventually that runs out. We have got to find early success in the passing game in the first, second, and third quarter. We've got to do 7 to 12-yard routes, get Caleb's chemistry with the wide receivers going, and start moving the ball. We do that, I think we're going to be a very dangerous team. Bear down.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Sam. Spot on. And let's end it with Mark.
Woo! 7-3, baby. Let's go, boys. A win is a win, baby, in the NFL. Let's go. Caleb didn't have his best day today. He made some throws, but he didn't score any touchdowns, Devin Duvernay, he returned that kick to get us in field goal position on there. And then we roll out Santos out there. He missed his previous one, but he barely squeaked this one in for the win. Let's go, boys. 7-3. See you next week. Let's go, boys. Hell yeah. Let's celebrate this week. Hell yeah. Let's go, baby. Bear down. The Bears.
Love it. Thank you, Mark. What a perfect one to end on. Awesome. All right, let's get to our shout outs here before we end it here. So let's start off. We got John Martheeth. I think I said that right at 5110 on YouTube. It's a hashtag OG. Appreciate it, John. We got Gage, Patreon member as well. Hashtag OG. Caleb Williams didn't do as bad as it looks. Would help if receivers caught passes. That part. Next one here, we got Imperil34 on YouTube with the hashtag OG. All these drops make you miss Keenan Allen. He made a crazy catch today, by the way. Mr. James on YouTube, hashtag OG. I might have missed it, but how do you feel about the Bears-Eagles alliance on Twitter? That's interesting. If they beat the Lions, then it'll be great. But then after that, the alliance is gone because we face the Eagles the following week. So, and then Kyler Villagomez with the hashtag OG. We did it again, 7-3. And to Jack Cairo Santos, bear down love. So. Michael from across the pond, hashtag OG, 7-3. Let's fucking go. Ugly or not, a win is a win. Yes, it is. And then we got Ken on YouTube as well with the hashtag OG. I totally felt Santos was going to fuck this one up, but he didn't. Bear down. Love that. Hashtag, this is Plastic Rockets on Twitter. Okay, so Plastic Rockets on YouTube, on Twitter commenting, said hashtag OG. Appreciate it. Bear down. And we did that one as well, but just shout again, hashtag OG for John as well. Okay, let's get to the Patreon shout-outs as always. And this is what we do for every one of our shows. So if you haven't been on our show before, if you join our Patreon $3 tier, $10 tier, our rookie Hall of Fame, our rookie Grizzly or Hall of Fame tier, you'll get a shout out on every show. So it's a cool way. We love to get back to y'all because, again, this is the number one show for the fans, by the fans, Bears Fill Room. So we want to make sure to give y'all fans the love that you deserve. So let's do it now, starting off with the Hall of Fame Grizzlies that we have. Michael, thanks for the voicemail. We got Gage. Thanks for the voicemail as well. And Philip. We got 3 of y'all in here. Appreciate it. We got shout to Michael. Shout to Angie. Hopefully you enjoyed that mug. Shout to Daniel. And then Thomas. I know you said you enjoyed the shirt, so shout to you as well. And then shout to Tito and Dave. Now, getting to our rookie Grizzlies as well. We got shout Alex, who's probably lifting right now. Shout to Chris, Ethan, Caleb, Jason, and our newest member, Megan, as well. So shout to all of our Patreon members. Again, if you want to join, the link is in the description. You can join for free. And we have our monthly BFR Zoom call, private Zoom call with Dave, Jack, and I coming up at the end of the month, and our giveaways at the end of the month. So you have time to get in now and win yourself some free shit.
Weeks left.
Yeah, a couple weeks. So make sure to sneak in there. We always have a great time with that. And it's only for it's only $10 a month. It's like a cup of coffee. And all the proceeds go from the show. I mean, from the Patreon right into the show. So we really do appreciate all the love and support from everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Because again, it's the number one show for the fans, by the fans, Bears Fill Room. And we appreciate y'all being here. Boys, any final thoughts?
Good win.
I like that.
Good one.
Yeah. 7-3. Let's not keep doing this. But if it means we get a win, I guess we'll continue. But
I get it.
Yeah, enjoy this. Enjoy the week. Another week where you can probably watch sports, SportsCenter, podcast, and just enjoy the Bears talk. Unless there's some nonsense that comes out in regards to Caleb Williams, I'm not sure. You never know. Very, very flip-floppy as far as the media. But hope you guys enjoy the week. Bear down, and we'll see you next week, next Saturday.
Peace.